All right, the injury update. We got DJ, he won't participate today. Dalton will be limited. Tyree, Jonathan, Billy, Darius will not participate. Randy's limited. Aaron Patrick is full. Caden Sterns limited. K1 full. Quinn limited. Kendall full. Melvin limited. Barron full. Mike Purcell limited. And PJ Locke full.
On DJ, is there a scenario where he can go from not practicing through the protocol to play?
Yeah, we have to go. I mean, obviously, with those head things, we want to be sure safety is the most important thing. So we just want to make sure that he's good throughout that process. And as he evaluates through it, we'll find out if he can play.
That's what I mean. You don't have enough days, do you, to get him from not practicing?
It's all based on how he passes through the protocol.
How's the right side of your offensive line held up with, you had a couple injuries on both positions there?
Yeah, Glasgow's done a really good job fitting in, along with Cam. Both those guys on the right have done a good job. This last game, they had a couple really key blocks, really good job. So, and they're just slowly getting better every single day. So they've filled in really good.
I think over the last few years, there's been a trend that there's maybe less big plays this year, especially less points are being scored because defenses are maybe being more conservative, further back coverage, things like that. How do you see that, and how do you maybe as an offensive play caller adjust to that?
You're talking about from an overall perspective throughout the NFL. Those defensive guys, they work hard too. Offensive guys are always trying to look for the big plays, and a lot of defenses are sometimes getting a little more conservative and backing off. And so it all kind of depends on how much you run the ball. If you're going to run the ball a lot, you bring more people in. So it's just kind of a chess match back and forth. So I think, right now it's early in the season. Everybody's still kind of figuring everything out, including us. And we're always looking for those big plays. But if they're not there, you got to take what the defense gives you.
Have you seen that maybe through 3 games yet, that defenses are trying to take away those big plays from you guys?
I mean, that's kind of been the trend throughout the league as of late. Some of the softer zones, the way that people play cover 4 in the olden days, there was a kind of a shell and the safeties were hard fill and fill in the gaps for run, and now they're kind of playing back further. Everybody likes those explosive offenses, so defenses know that, so they want to try to take that stuff away.
With Randy and Bradley, how do those guys' skill sets kind of complement each other, and just how valuable has that pass rush been to what you guys have been able to do defensively?
Yeah, those guys have been pretty dominant. I mean, and it's not just in the pass game. I mean, in the run game also, they've been doing a great job setting the edge. They've been patient, but understanding their responsibility. At the same time, when it's a passing situation, they're both. I mean, they're full bore, both rushing inside and outside. So I think the two of them have so many different things that they can do that they're not limited to just one thing, whether it be stop the run, stop the pass, inside moves, outside moves, bull rush, speed to power, all those things that how we reference it as coaches. It's great to have two guys that can do that. So that really does complement both of them.
How do you think the tandem of Javonte Williams and Gordon has played out? I know it's a small sample size. And how do you decide who comes in and out during the game? Is that you? Is that the position coach, Tyrone? How do you decide that?
So whenever we put a game plan together, we'll have specific things for certain people, but at the same time, we want to be sure we keep those guys fresh. So I think Tyrone, who's played the position for a long time, Tyrone Wheatley, that is, he has a great feel for those guys, and as they run, because they run hard, both of them. So we want to be sure that they're fresh, and so we'll get them both in as fresh as, and we want to keep them as fresh as we can throughout the game.
Javonte leads the series second on this team in terms of receptions. What do you attribute that to? And did you expect that coming into this year?
I mean, everywhere I've been, halfbacks have always had an integral part in the pass game. I think they do a really good job understanding the spacings, understanding the protection, and then where to get to within it. I think Russell's done a good job going through the progression and getting the ball to the backs. And, we do preach we want the ball to the backs in space. Both those guys are dynamic when they get a little space there. So I don't think you ever are saying you're going to check it down a lot, but when it happens, you want to take that so you can get an efficient play and a completion. So I think it's just kind of worked out that way up to this point.
The Raiders' red zone defense has struggled. Kyler Murray might have had something to do with that a couple games ago. And your red zone offense, kind of a chance to get well here, or how do you look at it?
Yeah, every single time you look at it, I don't think you're ever as good as you think you are. You're never as bad as you think you are. I think that the Raiders are a very good football team. I think they have a really good scheme down in the red zone. I think that, sometimes just things happen. They don't click, whether it be stopping them or getting in the end zone. So for us, we just want to do what is best for this game. And we want to be sure we get the matchups that we can and be able to get the ball in the end zone. But I think both groups, I think we're better than we are. I think they're better than they are. I think both really two good teams.
Yesterday, Bradley Chubb said he hates the Raiders. Is that something you've noticed from some veteran guys on this team, and is that an attitude you hope spreads throughout the locker room?
It's a great rivalry. It has been for a long time. It's part of the West, and, the West is the fastest way to have a chance to get to the playoffs. So there's definitely emphasis on that. From that standpoint, can't really hate anybody. In this world, that's too much energy. But, it's another game. We're excited to go against the Raiders.
Caden Sterns had big shoes to fill, obviously, when Justin went down. What have you made of the way he sort of fit into the back end and played?
Yeah, he's done a good job. We've seen how well the defense has executed. I think that he's done a really good job. He's taking advantage of this opportunity to get even more experience and play throughout a whole game. And he's done, he's had some good plays. He had a chance for a pick and it got knocked down. So, he's been in the right place at the right time, and they just got to continually grow and get better.
You mentioned yesterday sort of working toward, obviously, playing that short week. How much of the prep for that game against Indianapolis has to happen this week as you're also getting?
Yeah, for the coaches, we're focused on Sunday from the standpoint of the game planning prep. But I before the season even started, knew that this was happening, that we were going to have a West game, which we know is going to be a very physical game, going into a Thursday night game, which is always difficult. So we kind of started how we're going to get the guys' bodies right up to started yesterday. To that standpoint. So, it's about understanding the big picture, but right now the guys are just focused on this, and so are the coaches.
What do you see from Max Crosby and Chandler Jones now with his new team, opposite Crosby?
Yeah, I was with Chandler when we were at Syracuse a long time ago. So, he's a spectacular player. He's very fluid. He can do things that not a lot of other people can. And then, Crosby has, slowly become a dominant player in this league also. He's kind of an unnoticed. I know now a lot of people notice him, but he's dominant. So we're, again, going against a good pass rush on the edge. So it's going to be a great challenge for our tackles. And it's not just about the tackles, it's about everybody. We got to be sure that they don't know what's coming next, but it's going to be a battle. Those guys are rushing up the field. They're stopping the run. I think in the Tennessee game, Max had a couple big plays early in stuffing the run and everything. So they're really good players, and they complement each other a lot like our guys do.
Nate, I wanted to circle back to George's question about the dramatic drop in points so far. I know it's only September, but other than scheme, do you think some of the factors are like the way you guys across the league treat preseason now, and so that you're still ramping up through this month, and maybe this will start to turn as we get into October?
Yeah, I think if I haven't really dove into it. I know September football, everybody's always trying to work out the kinks, whether you've played in preseason or not. That's how it's kind of always been. You're trying to figure out your team. You're trying to figure out the guys, because every year a team is different. So I just think maybe some offenses are a little slower this year. I know that it was a real fast start when there was no crowd. I know the crowd is more excited this year than any year. It feels like every year everybody's more and more excited about the NFL. So when you're playing on the road, it's a major challenge because of the noise and the excitement. So there's so many different things. But in the end, it's about how you finish. And we want to continually get better. I think all the teams across the board would say the same thing.
Thank you very much, Coach.
All right, y'all.